Hello, and welcome back to Let's Innovate Together with Aliyah Hulse and her friends. So, yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and she asked me to do a video about my life, my story. So, I was a little confused, and I said, "Well, what about it?" And she said, "You've innovated quite a bit in your life." So, I decided to share a few stories with you. My very first story is from when I was 17 or so years old, and I was living in Chimkent, Kazakhstan. And I was there with my boyfriend at the time. We were walking down the streets and noticing that in our neighborhood, all of our friends, now in Kazakhstan, you can drink when you're 18. Probably you can start with a family around 16, so it wouldn't work for the US. But we had all our friends who were sitting on the streets drinking beer right outside their house. And they would gather together, they would play games and so on. And as we were walking by one day, and we realized that we don't really have a bar in our area. At that time, my dad used to own a restaurant, and right below restaurant was an empty um, not cellar, but basement, I would say, of a restaurant. So we decided to create a bar. So we walked over to my dad and said, "Hey, do you have space in your basement? Can we use it? Can we utilize it? And can we hang out there with our friends?" I said, "Sure, why not? You don't need to pay me rent. You don't need to pay anything. It's just the space is open." So we asked them for a few chairs and tables, and they had a couple extras. So we put 4 tables in that basement area and built a bar. We hired actually a drunk who who just went to the lumber yard with us, picked up a couple of pieces. We helped him out, and we built a bar that was made out of raw wood. And right on top of the bar, he created a little area for us to pick up bamboo and create like I don't know if it's called a tiki bar. And so we had another friend that was a best friend of ours. His name was Leo. And we picked him up, and we all drove to the lake where bamboo was growing. So the guys started cutting down bamboo. We shoved it into the car, brought it over, placed it right over, sprayed it with some polish. Yeah, sometimes I mispronounce things. Sprayed it with polish, and there was a bar. So that evening that we were finished, that was about Wednesday night, we went door to door to door in our neighborhood, and we're asking everyone to join us at the bar instead of their own place. And we only served beer, bottled beer at that time. And at the time, beer was about 52 tenge, and I think we made it 55. So it was insignificant, the amount of, and we provided free snacks, chips, and the salty stuff that is very traditional to Kazakhstan. So door to door, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then on Saturday, the day came, and we had about 8 people that showed up. And my boyfriend at the time, who then became my husband, and now he's my ex-husband, was the bartender, and I was the waitress. So that evening we had 8 people, and we decided that the next time we will open up the doors would be next Friday and Saturday. By next Friday and Saturday, we did the same thing, knocking on doors, same neighborhood, did not go anywhere. I kept knocking and knocking and saying, "Hey, on Saturday, let's do it again. Let's hang out with us." This time, we had about 24 people in the bar. And by next weekend, we had no space because people were standing, people were sitting down. So we had to open up another room to where we painted the ceiling in black and spray painted walls with neon colors, and put in 2 speakers, took an old oil barrel, cut it in half, painted it, and made 2 tables, and utilized some of my dad's old couches that were used in the office. Now we created a dance area. That place within 2 months was completely packed every single night. Every single night. We had about 4 employees at the time. My mom, who was running the restaurant upstairs, started sending us some food because some of the people started ordering food, but the upstairs restaurant was luxury. So my mom kind of cut down the cost for us and made it bar price, started sending over, so we created bills for that. And then one evening my dad came over and he said, listen, you guys have no space, and right here on the outside we have a large patio. Our patio capacity was about 300-400 people. So we rebuilt the whole patio, and within the next 3 months from then, so that when we started, it was November. By May, that patio was packed because we received an occupancy permit for 180 people. That patio was packed every single night, 180 people every single night. We had full-scale restaurant. We had about 18 employees. By then, it was my dad, my ex-husband, or it was not even my husband at the time, it was my boyfriend. And it was a big crowd. It was really a big crowd of people. And it was a ton of fun. My dad was helping, my mom was helping, my aunt was helping, and it was a big family business. And what did it all start with? We innovated. We didn't want to drink outside. We didn't want to drink, because, and I think actually the funny part of it is we were drinking outside one day, beer, and birds flew by, and one of the birds pooped right on the shoulder of a friend of mine. And I was like, I'm so glad it wasn't your beer bottle. So that's when we decided, hey, it's probably not a good idea to drink beer outside. Although we do it right now a lot in our yard, backyard barbecuing and so on. But it was an innovative idea. I was 17 years old, and the only reason I did it was because I was doing it with other people. I didn't do it by myself. I did it with my boyfriend at the time. I did it with my mom and dad. It was a whole bunch of people that were very, very interested, and it was fun. It was not work. We didn't want the money. We didn't care about the money. We were literally having fun and inviting our friends to have fun. When we started having 180 people there, people were coming from different sides of the city. They would drive for 40, 50 minutes just to hang out with us. That's how much fun it was. I hope you liked my story. Bye.